Engines! Fan-controlled sports and entertainment is heading to the NASCAR Xfinity Championship race in Phoenix, Arizona. Fans choose the driver, the car design, and 4 lucky fans get their face on the car. Download the fan-controlled Control app and start voting now. This is fan-controlled racing. Yeah! Welcome to Kickin' It, the show formerly known as the Fan-Controlled Show, the official companion show to Fan-Controlled Sports and Entertainment. Your destination for all things fan-controlled. I'm Jeff, 2 N's 1 T Canada, and I'm joined by some of my favorite people on the planet. It's Patrick Dees. It's Josh McCouga. It's Leighton Batiste. What is up, fellas?
What's
Jeff,
up?
I saw you. I know you're sick. because I saw your face getting redder and redder as you ran out of oxygen trying to do that intro. I know that's what happened. I know.
It's okay, man. I felt like I was in a NASCAR. Just shot out of a can.
You taking a left and taking a left and taking a left.
I watch. There are NASCAR ASMR channels where you can just hear like. You can, yes.
That's
100%.
great. Like that's the opposite of ASMR. I would be lulled to sleep and then, oh my god, like every little bit. That sounds really.
Don't you like to just
torture.
relax to the sound of a car coming?
I want a Star Wars one, but that does the TIE fighter. The.
Oh, that's cool.
That is pretty good. That's
Is it?
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when Jeff texts me, it should be a TIE fighter going, "Yeah," but I just silence it. I just silence
Oh, that's what you
it.
do. Chief, it's good to have you back, buddy.
We missed
It's
you,
good
buddy.
to be back, folks. I was not here last week, and there's so much that has happened that all these other dudes are going to have to catch me up because the fan-controlled sports and entertainment universe is currently exploding. Last time I was here, there were horses.
Yes.
Horses.
Correct.
Yeah.
Horses.
Now there's cars.
Yep.
It's all happening. The sports are being added faster than you can say NASCAR, and I'm excited about it. I can't wait to be caught up to speed. We have some awesome guests coming up.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you are one of our returning champions, if you're one of the folks that tunes in week to week on this show that's been going on a while, we've been going on for years now. You know that you always have the opportunity to control this very show. You get to decide what we're called. Last week, evidently, you voted it's the name Kickin' It.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Yeah, last week was our debut on Kick.
I wanted to.
There you go. That's why Kickin' It.
Correct.
I wanted to name this week we're going to take the kick in, right? And make it Kickin' the Tires because one of our guests later runs the website kickinthetires.net,
Nice.
which is a NASCAR hub, Jeff.
A hub, you
not
say?
a hubcap because
No.
you don't have hubcaps in NASCAR. It's a hub. Just a hub. Okay?
Hub.
Yes. Yeah.
Hubba hubba as well.
And Jeff, I can walk you through what has happened in the last 2 weeks since our last program. I can
Well, I
walk
just
you
need to
through
finish
it.
telling the folks that they can decide what we're called next week. All you got to do is throw your suggestions in the chat. We will pluck our favorites. And at the end of the show, we get a poll that comes up. You vote. Whatever you vote is what this show is called next week. Why? Because we're fan controlled. And you're the fans. All right.
Returning champion in the chat, Freddie Airmail's already got a show name suggestion, which is ASM car.
It's
Yeah,
Like
ASM car.
like
ASM
NASCAR,
car.
ASM car.
ASM
And the
car.
legend, Gigaman Porto, aka JMP TV, in the chat. Love to see him. Fractured Eclipse, who was one of our final 20 fans whose names were in a hat to be pulled to get their name on or to get their face on the hood of a NASCAR. Jeff,
Incredible.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
thank you. I
Where
didn't do
won't we
anything for
put
that.
fans' faces, guys?
We put him in an end zone, Jeff.
Yeah, I
And now
know,
we're
I was
putting him
there.
on a NASCAR. Yep.
Yeah. It's just, we'll put a fan's face darn near anywhere.
Next up, Jeff, Mount Rushmore. You sons of bitches.
Right.
Yep.
So
Guess
tell
what?
me what's been going on the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
It feels like a flash of excitement and activity.
Okay.
Tell me what's going on.
Here's what happened.
Yeah.
Deez, I'll walk him through it.
Please
Okay?
break it down.
Last
Preach.
Tuesday, last two. I'm doing this. So this is going to be
Let him
like,
cook.
oh man, here we go.
Let him
That's
cook.
it.
Clear out. We were
Chris
playing
Berman
ISO.
over here.
Playing out.
Whoop,
Clear
whoop,
out.
whoop. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so dun, 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 dun. Last Tuesday, we announced fan-controlled NASCAR coming to Phoenix, Arizona in the Xfinity Championship race. Next, a week from Saturday in Phoenix, Arizona, November 4th, there will be a fan-controlled car. Fans were allowed to vote on the car design and the car driver. We started with 4 drivers and 4 car designs. The one that Leighton and I wanted, the Pink Panther, did not win. Unfortunately, also fortunately, the Yellow Jacket, aka now the Yaley Jacket, because JJ Yeley won our vote. JJ Yeley will be driving the Yaley Jacket. The Yaley Jacket will come straight to your face on the NASCAR circuit in the Xfinity Series Championship November 4th. It is a yellow hooded, black beauty. Okay. Oh, Leighton loves it. Dees loves it. He's feeling it.
Raw.
Fans voted on that. They voted 4 drivers down to 4 designs, down to 1. And now, Jeff, after a drawing on Tuesday, there are 3 votes up on the website, up on the app, fcsc.xyz. Download the app right now. Throw up that QR code. Put it on the show.
Where is it?
Here comes Jess Samola. Bang, bang, boom. Okay?
Well, I like that one.
There are 3 votes going on right
Spooky.
now. On Tuesday, Leighton and I drew out 6 names. 6 names being voted in 3 separate votes. The legend of fan-controlled sports and entertainment, Jakey Muffins, who was featured today on JJ Yaley's Instagram stories. He is the biggest JJ Yaley fan in the world.
Is that true?
Yes.
I didn't
the
see
biggest
story.
one.
Look at it
No,
right
he's
now.
a huge Yaley fan. That's incredible. Dream come true. Favorite athlete
Dream-
of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time. That's like
Jakey-
Kobe Bryant putting me in his Instagram story.
Correct. Yes. The
Look at
exact
that.
same thing. Okay. Jakey Muffins is winning 60% to 40% against K Baker 4. Cool One against the Jack 6. The Cool One losing 51%, 49%. Thousands of votes coming in, Jeff. And D Factor up big on Big McBaby. The winner of those 3 votes will join Nerd E MVF from season 2.0 of Fan Controlled Football. Will get their faces on the hood of a NASCAR.
So cool. It's so
All
cool.
November 4th. And I've got like 30,000 other picks from our crew chief, and they're all confusing. I don't know what the hell. Yes. And
Face on the hood of a NASCAR.
Yes. And D Factor, a legendary chat member and super fan, is putting his grandmother, who recently passed away, that's his choice for the
love
face
it
that
so
goes on
much.
the car.
I love
Unbelievable.
it so much.
What a thing to honor your family, to honor your grandmother, a display of love. That's an amazing thing.
It really
Yes.
is. Josh called the fans' faces on the hood of the car on a podcast this week. He called it a reverse baby on board, which was my favorite description of all time.
If you put the fans' faces, maybe another driver would want to just hit those faces.
Yeah, it's
Unlike
just like,
baby on board, where you're like, maybe I should
Whoa,
lay
whoa,
off.
just ease off. It was like,
Yeah.
it's the best.
My bad, Jeff. My bad on that one. So that's what's happened in the last 2 weeks, Jeff. And in the next 9 days, there are so many picks and polls on the app. Again, fcse.xyz. Download the app. I was on the Dirty Mo live show yesterday, which is Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s company. And one of their personalities will join us on the live stream next Saturday, excuse me.
Can't believe
And
it. 2
2 of the fans, Jakey Muffins, aka Jake Schoen, aka Big Sat, was also on the show and talked all about why fans should vote for him. Put him on the car. Put him on the car, Jeff.
On the car. I don't know. I want grandma to be on the car.
Well, D Factor isn't going against Jakey Muffins, so you're okay. D Factor is up big, and D Factor's grandma is up big, in the vote.
That would be amazing to have, to have that show of love on the car. That's amazing.
Come on.
Yeah.
And I've been told that Patrick Dees, after the race, will be removing the hood from the car and taking a lightsaber to cut out the faces from the hood,
Little
and
pocket saber.
mailing them to the fans.
Yeah.
That's definitely happening. 100%. That's what.
Is this like the size of a pocket saber?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Pocket saber. We all need one.
I thought I was the only one that did hood to coast.
Jeff, try harder.
Deep.
Yeah.
That was a deep.
Try harder, Jeff. Try harder. Yeah.
I'm a little overwhelmed by everything that's been happening, you guys.
Sure.
I know it's not the right thing to say when NASCAR is about to happen, but slow down, please.
Jeff, we
No.
don't slow down.
No, it's been a long time. 23 has been a lot of build up to this. Like, honestly, we're incredibly excited to finally just start talking about all of this stuff.
Right.
You know, we're cooking up season 3.0 of football as well. Like, so much is coming, but I'm glad that we can finally start talking about partner sports. There's more to come, but that we can start talking about NASCAR and all that we're doing here. I mean, it's all unprecedented stuff. And from a guy who is not a NASCAR native, I'm a NASCAR neophyte. It's incredibly exciting. And I say this unironically. When we started doing this, I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to drive a car. But like that fan base, their passion is contagious. It's like genuinely like they're so excited about what they're doing. They are so welcoming as a community. Like you tell anybody that you don't know much about NASCAR, but that you want to, not that you just want to mock them, but that you want to genuinely know, everybody will stop, take as much time as you want to teach you about NASCAR, tell you why it's dope. It's awesome. I just am so into that fan base, and I'm excited to see what we can do for the sport.
This is your MO every time, is that you mock and you're kind of a dick
usually,
and then you realize, oh hey, look how awesome everyone is.
I just stay a dick.
I'll be honest. Deez uses the word neophyte way too often. I've used the word twice in my life, and Deez comes in like, "You're a neophyte at McDonald's ordering." I'm like, "Why don't you shut up?"
I've used the word neophyte twice in my life just because they were two good Matrix movies.
Oh,
okay.
Well done, Jeff.
Did you see those? Did you see that neophyte?
That made up for the last one.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's breaking even right now, right? Right, he's breaking even.
If Leighton is keeping score backstage, Jeff, and you, sir, are losing.
We'll put that up as a vote in the app. I'm just disappointed. Like I said, last time we were talking about horse racing, I'm a little disappointed that FCSE did not put anybody's face on a horse's rump.
Well, that Jeff.
Which is, of course, the hood of horse racing.
Of course, the horse hood. Now, I don't know if you guys have known this since I moved to the country. I've been talking to Leighton about this for a long time. As you know, we live out in the country. Currently, I'm at an Airbnb in Palm Springs because one of Amanda's friends decided to have a Friday wedding, for Christ's sake. So we now live out by horses. And Jeff, I have been working with a blacksmith to turn my face into a brand to put on the back of a horse. You're going to be able to see my face branded into many a horse down the line.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's worth the move in and of itself.
I don't know a blacksmith.
You gotta do that. No, you have committed in front of everyone that that's what you're doing.
You're right. You're right.
We're seeing. I think this is this Ruthless Cutie who wrote, "We were going to, Jeff, but you never sent in a headshot."
That's true.
That's.
I need to
zing.
I need to shout out the chat real quick, Jeff. I need to shout out the chat. Is Peanut FCF, who has been a fan since day one, a huge NASCAR fan, is so pumped about fan-controlled racing. Had his name in the drawing. Unfortunately, was not part of the drawing. He said, "I need to be I need to be a part of the stream." Now, here's the thing, Peanut, is we're not going to bring you on to the stream, but if your comment is good enough, we will read it to the crew chief, and the crew chief will read it to the driver. And the driver will answer it live on the stream, hopefully.
As they're driving?
Always go on the caution laps. Caution laps, we're trying to keep this safe. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So imagine if you're just answering questions, driving so fast.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Hey, rocky road. No. I want a smooth road.
Yes. Exactly, Jeff. Exactly.
That was my impression of a NASCAR driver. I don't know.
It's terrible, Jeff. It's really not
was it? I thought it was all right. I'm a neophyte. I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know. That seemed pretty great.
Jeff,
we're gonna drive in the bus.
We're gonna flip guests because JJ is running a little late. So the other JJ is our first guest up.
Yeah.
Yes. Would you like to bring him in? He deserves a proper intro and make it really sexy, Jeff. Make it like super sexy. You're really good.
Ladies and gentlemen,
there you go.
Start your engines. We're about to be joined by Jerry Jordan. It's Jerry Jordan, everybody.
Let's go, Jerry. Come on.
Hey, how's it going? Guys? Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Absolutely.
It's been fun. Already it's been fun.
We like to have fun, Jerry. We're very new to the NASCAR space, and I feel like you've lived in this space for a very long time. Give the fans, your background, who you are, what you do, and why you're so good at what you do. More importantly,
Well, I started kicking the tires years ago as kind of a column in a newspaper.
Okay.
And then made it to a radio show and then a website. And now I have 11 people that work for me, and we cover all of the NASCAR races and travel around the country every week.
that's incredible.
Did that just start as an obsession with the sport, or did you grow up in it? How did you get the access to even begin?
So I'm from Texas, and we don't have a whole lot of racing in my area specifically. I'm on the coast, so if you know where the hurricanes hit, that's where I'm from. But my mother and my late sister were huge fans of racing, and they kind of got me hooked. And it passion of mine that became, I'm like, hey, I can make money at this, and it grew from there. So it was all about all about the Benjamins.
Who's the greatest driver of all time, Jerry? Besides Richard Petty, who's the greatest driver of all time?
In my opinion, Tony Stewart.
Wow, Smoke.
Yep.
Smoke's your favorite.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's a great dude, and he could drive anything. And I mean, he was leading the NHRA points championship until he got disqualified a few weeks ago for an ignition issue over there. But I mean, the guy can drive anything and wins in everything. So that's who I think it is.
I don't think the like the Frenchmen, the Italians, they could deal with him in Formula One. I think they would have trouble with him in Formula One.
I don't know if he wants to go over there. I mean, yeah, I see lots of helmets and getting thrown and some expletives probably being deleted out of their streams.
I love
it, Jerry. I of course know tons about NASCAR, but
Of course you do.
Patrick is a neophyte.
I'm brand new to this.
Here we go again.
Total neophyte.
Totally.
And we got to get you a neophyte T-shirt.
I'd wear it. I'd rock it proudly.
So for his benefit, what makes a good NASCAR driver?
Somebody who's focused, doesn't get into wrecks or wreck other people, and can get to the finish line. Look, there's 36 points races a year, 38 races if you count like all of the with the All-Star race and the kind of the preliminary races that we have. But 36 playoff races or points races a year, and you're not going to win one of those. There's a good chance you will go the whole season and not win a race. You may win one, and that's a good season for a lot of people. Then you've got people like William Byron who wins 4 or 5, or Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson. They win 4 or 5. That's a great season by anyone's standards. I don't care who you are. So it's not just always about winning. It's about consistency. It's about going fast, staying out of trouble, and being a good representative for your sponsors and your team.
Jerry, I tell you, just listening to you makes me more excited about NASCAR. I'm loving the energy. Talk to me a little bit about, like, again, as well established, I'm new to all of this. What's been interesting to me is seeing the collective effort it takes from an entire team to get a car off the line and to complete a race. What's the thing that most people that are new to the sport don't know, or what do you think is most critical outside of the driver itself? What are the things that the great teams do? What separates the great teams from the average teams on race day?
Money.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots and lots of money. But no, on a serious note, it is commitment and having the right people. It's about, a lot of it is family. We this sport, we may argue, the media people may argue with each other. We may get in arguments with drivers, or they may not like something that we write. But at the end of the day, we all work together, and we traveling circus down the road, and we're on the road 36, 38, 40 weeks out of the year. And I've done every single race of the season before, from start to finish, and we start in February, we end in November. So it's a lot of time and commitment away from your families and things like that. So that's one of the biggest things about NASCAR. Everything you see at the track, when we leave the track, there's nothing there but a track. All those pit boxes, the cars, the haulers, everything gets picked up, gone back to North Carolina, and then they go to wherever the next track is every week.
North Carolina is basically like NASCAR Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
NASCAR Mecca, as we call it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, you talked about, obviously money matters and focus, don't wreck people, all that kind of stuff. But there is something kind of magical about the ability to race that close to somebody for that long and go that fast.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's think about this. Be on the freeway, get on the freeway and see how close you are comfortably at 65 miles an hour, and then multiply that by 3 times. You're doing almost 200 with all those people.
See, that's what terrifies me.
Yeah.
That's it's something special.
At least none of them are on their cell phone.
No, we are not allowed to have cell phones. They can't have cell phones on the race car. That happened a few years ago. Brad Keselowski was tweeting during a race.
Stop.
It wasn't while he was under. We were under caution or a red flag, I believe.
Yeah,
but he wasn't doing it while he was driving. So, but they came out with a rule: no phones in cars, things like. So, but yeah, you can't do that. But we have radios and we hear what they say, and there's a lot of raw emotion that goes out over the radio. Just when you're at the track next week, if you guys are at Phoenix, I'll see y'all obviously because I'll be there. But make sure you listen to the radio. The in-car driver to pit crew. It's amazing sometimes.
It's part of our broadcast. Fans that are watching the companion broadcast that we're doing will hear the audio of the entire team, and Josh is going to be commentating on it. It's going to be awesome. I think.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Our goal is to really try and have fans feel like they're part of that team. Again, what's been revelatory to me is understanding how many people it takes to get a car across, even to the race, much less finish the race. And we want fans to feel like part of that team, to say we got there and really mean it. Make decisions that impact what happens on race day.
Well, you've got JJ Yaley, and I mean, look, he's a great guy, a good driver, a good friend. I love this guy. So he's going to be a great ambassador for you. Now, as far as your plan on, calling pit stops and tires and all, I see nothing whatsoever that could go wrong with that. Absolutely.
See, Jerry gets it. Jerry gets it.
It's going to be perfect. Perfect.
All right, Jerry, I got a question for you. I got a text message basically from our crew chief. Okay. His name is Jason Miller.
Yeah.
And he gave us a bunch of stuff to vote on. I'm wondering if you might be able to give us some insight on this. Now, he told us fans could vote on the right rear spring choice from 1,500 to 900 at 50-pound increments. You have any thoughts on that?
I am the worst guy in the world for car setup. I'm horrible at it, but yeah.
Should we ask JJ Yaley this?
You should ask JJ this.
Yeah,
he's going to be the guy driving the car.
Makes sense. Okay, good.
I would think somewhere in the middle at Phoenix, you'd want to. You don't want too stiff of a spring because it's going to bounce. It's going to be real hard on the driver, but you don't want it too soft because you don't want the car to bottom out and kind of dig down. When he's going through the turns.
I'm always saying that, Jerry. I'm always telling Josh that. I'm just like, always.
Jerry, can you talk to us about the Phoenix racetrack? Like some insider stuff that we might not know about? Because, Leighton used to be a NASCAR driver on video games when he was 11. But since then, he has not really kept up with it. So what can you tell us about the track?
Well, you definitely don't want – I've been kicked off of a league in iRacing that I actually sponsored. Me as iRacing.
Okay.
I'm horrible. I'm horrible.
I need that story.
Well, Kyle Busch thought I wrecked him, but I didn't, and they kicked me off.
Do you have? Wait, I'm gonna ask this. I want to double click on that. Do you have the whole simulator set up at your house with the wheel and the whole sim setup?
Mine doesn't move, but yes, I have a full sim other than the moving parts.
Absolutely incredible. And you're exclusive iRacing guy. Do you dabble with Forza, or do you ever touch GT Gran Turismo?
Nope, just iRacing.
iRacing 100% of the time, man. That's hardcore.
What a legend.
I suck at it so bad.
Jerry, if fans could put potholes out there, do you think that's a good idea?
We've had those at racetracks before. We had those at Daytona. I think we had some at Martinsville. It's happened. It's happened before.
What is your favorite racetrack?
Man, that's a tough one because it depends on what style you're talking about. I love Bristol Motor Speedway because of the action that we used to have there, but I like road courses too. And Sonoma, Raceway Sonoma road course out in California it is amazing track. And the other reason why I like Sonoma because you can go out there, the schedule's relaxed, so you can go do the racing and work your job, and then that night you can go have wine and chill out. And,
look at Jerry Jordan living the dream. What a legend. What about Watkins Glen over Sonoma?
even with the history of Watkins Glen, of what it is and how, the F1, used to be there years ago, I still like Sonoma for what it is and the ambiance. But I was just up there a few months ago, and it's a beautiful track, and up in northern New York, right near the Canadian border. I would say go to both of them
Okay.
if you're a fan. And definitely check them out because they're both great. They really are both great. There's some tracks that I'm not, a huge fan of as far as, like, I don't like Kansas. I don't like,
Nobody
even though
does.
nobody does.
Nobody.
You
No.
know, New Hampshire is a really good track. It's a great track up in the Northeast. But
Terrible
there's
state, great track. Terrible
terrible
state.
street game
Yeah.
track.
Great track. Deez knows
But
that. Deez
Yeah,
knows
of
that.
course. Yeah, it's the worst.
And we've had problems with our home track here in Texas, at Texas Motor Speedway. They're
Okay.
working on getting those things resolved, and that'll be fun to see what they come up with. But no, it's this sport it will chew you up and spit you out, but it's a bundle of fun if you're involved in it.
I'm so excited to be part of it. Jerry, part of our job is to give fans the most information the information they need to be able to make the right decisions in real time and lead their team to victory. What are some things that fans should be thinking about or keeping in mind during race day?
Well, one of the most important things about Phoenix you were asking about a while ago is tires, tire management. If it come into play at Phoenix, it could come into a fuel mileage situation. And also, if you're, you've got championship, JJ's not, running for a championship, next weekend, but there are other drivers. There will be 4 drivers in the Xfinity Series that are running for a championship. So if you're a driver who's not as fast as those guys, or if you're, you want to stay out of people's way a little bit, you don't want to be an impact on the championship race that's going on around you, because unlike football, it's not just 2 teams, it's 36 teams or 34 teams, or whatever we got on the track. They're all competing against each other, and they all have their own agenda. But just because you're not competing for the championship doesn't mean that you can't compete for a win if you want, if you're out
Smart.
there.
Yeah.
That's
I feel
why I
like the
wouldn't
way
be a
you-
very good driver. I would just be like, nope, I'm just gonna be spoiler man. Nope.
Left and right.
Jerry, the way you just kind of described it is like, if one year you get one win, it's a pretty successful year. It kind of reminds me a little bit of golf. Like if a golfer has a win in a year, it's a great year for him, kind of a thing. But in racing, it kind of seems like the top guys are always there at the top. And you kind of mentioned how, money and whatever kind of. What is it about like a guy like Dale Earnhardt or Jimmy Johnson that made them so good?
Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt was actually a little bit before my time. I got into racing in 2001,
Okay.
and that was the year that he passed away. My mother and my sister, they were huge fans, but since 2001, and I saw the Jimmy Johnson era, I actually covered Jimmy Johnson as a rookie. And look, I didn't be that great. He wasn't that great, when he was in the Xfinity Series and doing, but as he came up, the one thing I saw about Jimmy Johnson was how he interacted with the fans. And we used to hear Jimmy Johnson's vanilla. He's boring. But you know what? That guy cares about the fans. And at Texas Motor Speedway one year, it rained out. The race actually rained out, and we raced it on a Monday. But during the rain delay, Jeff Gordon walked over to Jimmy's hauler. Jimmy was a rookie, grabbed him out of the hauler, said, "Hey, you're going to come with me." And they had umbrellas, and they signed autographs for every single fan in the rain that was out there along the fence. And to me, that makes that may not make you, but it makes you a great race driver to fans. And I learned a lot that day just watching as a reporter. And I learned a lot about Jimmy. I learned a lot about Jeff. And look, they weren't my favorite drivers. Tony Stewart's my friend of mine. Kurt Busch is another good friend of mine. But they're great people. France this past year in June for the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Jimmy Johnson drove the Garage 56 car over there. He is a great driver. He had Chad Knaus back in the day when he was winning 7 championships, and that's because they work so well together. Their cohesiveness and their communication. Jimmy knew what the car was doing to the car, and it just works well. And to have the resources with a Hendrick Motorsports like they did, that's why they were so successful.
See, I thought you were going to say mustache. I thought you were going to say that.
I love what you said
Better
about
answer.
the fans and interacting with the fans and being accessible to fans, because it's really the motivating force behind fan-controlled sports and entertainment, right? It's exactly what this organization is trying to bring across all sports, is a level of connection between fan and athlete that has never existed before. And you know, we did it with football. We're doing it with more sports now, and I think it's cool to hear you reinforce what makes that special.
Well, I mean, I'm very intrigued by what your plan is. I think this is. I mean, I will be probably watching the Xfinity race and you guys closer than I've watched it in the past, except that for the guys going for. I'll be over there by the pit box and seeing what's happening and how this is playing out, because this is really an interesting concept, and I think it's got some legs. I really do. I like the idea.
Or wheels.
Or I was going to say, we don't have legs here.
Yeah. Good. I should have better play on words. It's got some wheels.
In
So
your
fresh Goodyear Eagles.
There you go. I like
in your time, covering NASCAR, what's been your favorite on track moment? Not something that's happened to you, but like your favorite race moment that has happened. I have one. I said it on Wednesday, but I'll let you go.
Go ahead and say yours, because I got to think about it, because I've been doing this for 22, 23 years. I got to think about that for a minute.
I grew up in Pittsburgh, and there you go. There's your Pittsburgh moment for the show. You're welcome. And I my grandma loved NASCAR. My uncles, a lot of people, and Dale Earnhardt was my guy, right? He was the driver that I grew up with. He looked just like my Little League baseball coach with that mustache. And when Dale Jr. won the year after he died, I thought that was the coolest moment in the history of NASCAR, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think about it all the time. I think it's so cool.
And that's actually one that stands out in my mind. I think for me, Kurt Busch, the Daytona 500, was to know the backstory of everything that happened with Kurt's ex-girlfriend that I did a big story on, and she's. I'll give you some breaking news right now. She's taking a plea deal in an investigation for her charity that with the federal government, that we Kicking the Tires did this entire expose on. So she's finally gonna take a plea deal. But during that's his ex-girlfriend. When he came out of that after getting suspended and coming back to the races, not much longer, he won the Daytona 500. That was huge for him, and probably one of the most disappointing moments is him going out last year with a concussion because of the car wasn't safe. And the drivers told NASCAR, this car is too stiff, you guys got to fix it, someone's going to get hurt. And they were working on it. To NASCAR's credit, they no one wants anybody hurt. They were working on getting it finished, get it fixed. But Kurt suffered because of it. Alex Bowman suffered because of it. Several other drivers suffered because of it, because of concussions and injuries from being too stiff and those types of hits. But we value safety in the sport, and the one thing that makes safety go is when someone gets hurt, we really rally around it.
Jerry, so you heard Jeff talk a little bit about kind of the ethos here and our goal to bring fans closer to the sports that we're engaged with. What from an insider perspective, what are some things that we can do to make it more accessible for fans, bring fans closer, empower them to make decisions? Like, how else do we bridge that gap, make them feel part of the experience?
You have the in-car, and you're going to have the streaming and things of that nature. Other than being at the racetrack, those are key factors. Maybe do something where the driver talks to your fans, and I know that he'll talk during the race, but like bring JJ on the show and do a recap afterwards. Say, hey, I appreciated you guys. This is he may learn something through this too. The crew chief may learn something through this, because we see on Twitter or X or whatever you call it these days, fans think they know everything about racing and what they should do to for a team to go faster. Let's see how this works. This is an interesting experiment that I think could benefit all parties involved.
Hey, Jerry, do you think the fans know where to put the track bar height left to right from 10 to 14 in quarter-inch increments?
Who was I talking to the other day on the phone about
12 and a quarter.
Okay. Because those are things that, who knows that besides a guy that works on a car all the time? How can a fan tell me that that's where it needs to be? I have no clue. What's the car doing? And then that might give me some clue.
Hey, Jerry, quick question. Do you know what the nose weight on my Honda Accord is, starting at 51%, going to 54%? You happen to know any of that, going in quarter percent increments? You happen to know that?
I have Google.
There you go. Jerry, you a Ford or a Chevy guy?
Oh.
Oh,
I actually drive a Honda.
There you go. Okay. All right. Incredible.
That is so
I had
good.
to I had to
man.
save myself there. I work with all the manufacturers in NASCAR, but
I'm
Honda's
sure.
not in NASCAR, so
There you go.
I'm safe.
Agnostic. Yeah. It's incredible.
Man, Jerry, it is so fun talking to you. This is like
really great.
Jeff said, we're all kind of new. Not again, I've dabbled in and out of the sport. I'm not a diehard, but I do follow and I know what's going on. And so I guess maybe to let you out on the question is who wins each championship next Saturday? Who do you think takes it?
Oh man. John Hunter Nemechek in Xfinity.
Denny Hamlin?
I want to say Denny Hamlin's so
Denny Hamlin.
bad. He's just had such bad luck. God, he went from like being safe to, okay. So the luck, the role of luck that Denny was on and had everything going for him, it's almost like it shifted to Ryan Blaney in the Cup Series, and now Ryan is on a roll, and he got the disqualification thrown away without a protest. That never even happened. That's never happened before. His NASCAR came forward on Monday and said, "Oops, our equipment was bad." We never heard that before, but their equipment was bad. So that was a that was a first.
Okay,
and so
there's a
ahead,
poll
sir.
up on our app
Uh-oh.
up on our app right now, Jerry, and the fans want to change his name to either Denny Fanlin or Fanny Controlin. What are you voting on?
Oh,
Fanny controlling is the right answer, right?
Yeah. Fanny, I like that. I like the Fanny control. Yeah,
See?
but he's
So good. It's so good.
But here's the thing: he's like hated right now. He's the villain. I mean, he went from being loved to hated to love to hate it again. Kyle Busch earlier this year, Carl Edwards came back to do a race at Darlington back in the spring, and when Kyle Busch, Carl was in the booth. He was doing TV. When Kyle Busch walked on stage, everyone cheered and screamed, and Carl Edwards was like, "Where am I?" Kyle Busch become the good guy, and then when Denny comes out, they boo him, and all of a sudden Denny's the bad guy. He's like, "What world am I in?" So yeah, fans are fickle in NASCAR. They call them fans because it's short for fanatic, and so yeah.
Well, it's going to get fan controlled next Saturday, Jerry. I'm pumped that you enjoy somewhat. You're skeptical. You're happily skeptical. Is that what we would say?
I'm loving it, but I'm like I want. Okay, you know how you drive by on the freeway and you know there's a car wreck, and you're like, I want to see how bad this car wreck really is. That's kind of like, I hate to say that to you guys. I hope it goes well, and I hope I hope JJ wins the race just because JJ's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Come on.
There it is.
How awesome would that be? But
Yes.
but let's there's going to be a tune-in factor of like how big of a cluster is that going to be?
We'll try. We'll try and make it as clustery as possible, Jerry.
No, I want y'all to go out. I swear to God, I want y'all to go out there and do well. I'm pulling.
We are. It's
I'm
going to be
pulling
awesome.
for this fan
No
control.
doubt.
I really am. I'm pulling for the fan control car next weekend.
Thanks,
Love
buddy.
it. I love
Appreciate
it.
you, man. It's awesome.
And I'm not saying that y'all brought me on the show. I really.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Thank you so much, Jerry. Jeff, we can't hear you. I think you got muted out somehow. I'm not sure.
Oh, now I'm back. I bet.
Oh, he's back. He's back. He's back.
Well, thank you, Jerry, for saying that. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on anytime. Call me anytime.
We will.
It's so much fun. Kick the tires.
Kicking the tires.
Yeah, and I saw your show was Kicking It. I'm like, I got that trademark on Kicking the Tires. We can work out a deal for.
He's here just to present papers. He's there.
That's
soon.
right.
Yeah, y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you, Jerry.
Appreciate you,
Thanks.
Jerry.
Take care.
Thanks, Jerry.
Jerry Jordan. Everybody.
What a legend. What a legend.
See, everybody associated with the sport kind of is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like such a good energy. Like I said, they're incredibly welcoming. They want you to know more about the thing that they're so passionate about, which is it's fun. I am so pleasantly surprised every time I get to talk to somebody who knows something about the sport. Because I don't know if you guys know, I don't know anything.
He's a neophyte, Jeff.
I'm a neophyte.
Total
I'm a
neophyte. Classic neophyte answer.
Well, listen.
Well, we got somebody who is not a neophyte.
No.
We got somebody who is a fight. I don't know.
Pro fight.
Pro fight.
Oh, he just disappeared, Jeff. Wait, he's coming back. Hold on. We
let's
lost him for a hot second. Oh, he's back. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back.
Let's do it. Your driver, ladies and gentlemen. Your driver
Of the 08 car. The 08 car, Jeff. The 08 car.
08 car. The yellow jacket. JJ Yelly.
Let's go. JJ. What's up?
That was awesome. You guys are all coming to Phoenix, I hope.
Well,
Right.
we're gonna try. We're gonna
Wish.
try, JJ. We're really
Some
gonna try.
of us
Yes.
will be there.
Yeah.
Not all.
No, that was probably one of the best intros I think I've ever had in my life. That was
Let's
awesome.
go. All right.
I liked it.
So how do you feel about being controlled by fans or voted into the driver's seat?
Well, I mean, I've been married for 20 plus years, so I mean, I'm used to being told what to do. Like, that's really not a new thing for me. So
Not exciting.
The fans do it at a lower volume. Usually.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So you're just saying that at this point I actually can exercise my right to do something different versus actually having to do exactly what I'm being told to do.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
No. I think it, like I said from the very beginning, I thought this was an amazing idea. It's a way to really give the fans more of an insight. Like it's NASCAR's done a great job over the last 5-6 years of doing that. Like if it's on the Cup side, giving you in-car cameras, now you have in-car camera all the time. They've done a really good job of trying to implement that into their URL. So you can go on there, you can find a bunch of stuff. So nothing like this. Obviously, this is new, cutting edge, latest, greatest, coolest way for fans to be a part of NASCAR. So I'm totally down for whatever kind of cool stuff they can come up with. I've been arguing with both Jason Miller, Bobby Daughter, the guys at SS Greenlight, crew chief and owner. Like, let them do whatever they want. I'll figure it out. Like, it's nothing new for me. Just have to figure out what's going on, spur of the moment on the racetrack.
That's so incredible. And it's your home track, right? Like Phoenix is your hometown. Like this this track incredibly well.
I do. Like I've won 2 Copper World Classics at what used to be Phoenix International Race, which they've rechanged, rebranded, all sorts of cool stuff. But regardless, that's still where I'm from. Still one of my favorite racetracks. It's amazing. It's a really cool place to watch a race because you can sit in turns what are now 3 and 4, and you can see everything. You can go up on the mountain. I mean, there's really not a bad seat on the property.
I want to ask you the same question I asked Jerry Jordan. What do you think makes a good NASCAR driver?
What makes a good NASCAR driver? Oh man, I don't know. Having like that natural talent. No, the difference between a NASCAR driver as a professional and every other athlete that is a professional is, as a driver, I can't make up for everything. Right? There's too many people. There's too many pieces of the chemistry it takes to win. I mean, the driver could have the best race car, have the fastest car, lead the most laps, have a bad pit stop, takes him completely out of contention. So there's so many different things that go into it. Now, to be a good race car driver, you have to be patient. You have to know when to go, and you have to be able to take unforeseen circumstances, which typically is a car that's not handling well, and make the most of it. The guy that typically wins a race, not always, is the guy who makes the least amount of mistakes. So being closest to perfection is generally the recipe for victory.
JJ,
great answer. I love that.
We've been texting a bunch. I keep asking you silly questions to put up on the app. You're a part of 2 votes. I know you looked at the car designs and everything like that. Who texts you more at this point, me or your wife?
It's definitely you.
Incredible.
My wife, if she needs something, she just calls and yells at me. It's not typically a text. It's harder to get your point across in a text versus physically hearing the difference in the tone change whenever you get that call.
Very true.
So
very true.
You and I had a chance to catch up this week, and I heard a little bit of your life story. You gave me the whole rundown about how you got into racing. It's all incredible. I hung up that phone call and I started thinking, like, how badass would it be to be at a party? And when somebody asks you what you do for a living, just look them dead in the eyes and say, I race cars for a living. What's your favorite reaction to you telling somebody that you're a race car driver?
I typically try not to tell people what I.
Oh, really?
No,
I would tell everybody just constantly. I would remind people that, constantly.
So Patrick tells people, and it's not even true.
But yeah, no, no. You drive a Tesla. What's wrong? Yeah.
I mean, I guess the best way to describe it is like I don't feel like I'm any different, any special. I don't want people to look at me differently because of what I do as a profession. So I don't want to be treated different. Like, oh my God, he's a race car driver, so I need to be nice. I need to do whatever, right? I typically like to go with a plumber, just because I've got 3 really good jokes, and they're the rules. I think they're really the rules of life as a plumber that you go with.
Okay.
Right? So rule number 1, payday's Friday.
Okay.
Rule number 2, don't bite your fingernails.
Yeah.
Rule number 3, shit goes downhill. Like
that's good.
If you know those 3 things, I think you can be a plumber.
I have to tell you, my father was a plumber my whole life, an Italian plumber at that. And he always
loves mushrooms.
Huh?
Loves them.
Loves mushrooms too. Yeah.
He always said he's still hanging around and being awesome and vibrant and about to be 80. But he said when he passes, he wants me to take his ashes and flush them down the toilet. Just appropriate for the plumber.
Well, hopefully for you, the toilet works, because if not, then
Who are you gonna call at that point? You're like, God damn it!
You forgot the 4th rule of plumbing, JJ, and that is crack is whack.
Well, I have to add that too. I try to keep it a 3 because there's a point where I try not to start laughing, and then once you crack a smile, they know that you're probably telling them maybe a tall tale.
Yes.
We
got some fan questions. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was just about to do the same thing. We got a pretty great series of questions here. Here comes one from Jakey Muffins, who I think everybody knows.
Your biggest fan, JJ.
Your biggest fan says, what is your favorite car paint scheme that you've ever driven?
My favorite, and that's an easy one, it would be the when I was at Joe Gibbs Racing 2007, we did they were still Chevrolets back then. We did a 57 Chevy replica. So obviously the car still, the car didn't look anything like a 57 Chevy, but the way the graphics were built into it, it did. And all of the cars that we ran at Michigan that weekend had some kind of throwback like that. So that was probably one of my favorite ones, because it was pretty cool.
How realistic is the movie Cars? Okay. Sorry. I'm kidding. Freddie Airmail says, if you could get your face on another racer's car, who are you picking?
I would go with Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch, that would be a good one to go on. Yeah.
Okay. Right on.
Because for some reason you're going to be entwined into some kind of drama throughout the
day. Is there like a fraternity of race car drivers? Do you guys hang out? Or are you all isolated in your own cars and not really relating to each other?
No, it's totally like high school. There's a bunch of different cliques. Like when I first started in the Cup Series, I think we had 7 rookies, which was the largest rookie field that they probably ever had. So it was a different dynamic because I had already been married, or I was married. Just had my daughter, so I was a grown up. The rest of the rest of the guys, they were in their mid-20s and they were having fun being professional race car drivers. They told a lot of people they were race car drivers.
Yeah, sure.
Nobody's saying they're a plumber in that group.
No. That was definitely not the case.
JJ, let me ask you this question: any drivers ever wear their fire suit to the bar?
I don't know, to the bar. Now I've seen Chase Briscoe wear his to Chick-fil-A, and I think Bubba Wallace wore one during a rain delay somewhere. So, that might typically be more something you'll see on the your Saturday, your local racetrack, where guys like, I'm just gonna tie this around my waist. I'm going to the restaurant. People are gonna know I'm a race car driver.
Yeah, I would wear it to Gelson's. I was just everywhere.
100%. 100%. So the fans picked as we're calling it, the Yaley jacket, that car design. Did you have any portion of you that wanted the car to be pink? Because
No.
I was.
We all desperately wanted it.
We
I
wanted
gotta
the
tell you,
pink car, JJ.
definitely
We
wanted
that
the pink.
car.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
the thing is, spotting it would be incredibly easy. Be like, there it is, there, like everywhere. We would just know always where you were.
Yep.
And because you added the yellow to it, it had that total hubba bubble look to it. So yeah, no, the blue car was my favorite car, which
Yeah,
it
it was
lost.
awesome.
I think it was like me and 3 other people. So
Okay.
that
one,
was
two, yeah.
Lowly
that
voted.
yeah, it did not stand a chance.
So your crew chief, Jason Miller, sent us a very detailed list of questions that the fans can vote on in the upcoming days. And JJ, got to be honest, this is like the first time I took Japanese in the 8th grade. I don't know what is going on.
Not a
But-
word of it.
Okay, so I'll just start with a couple of these. Fans can vote on the right rear spring choice from 1,500 to 900 in 50-pound increments. Do you have a preference on where that could be? Maybe give a couple of options so fans can vote.
Oh boy. Typically like a Phoenix, I'm going to say you're going to be closer to the soft side. So you're going to be probably from a 9 to an 11.
Okay.
We throw a big spring
That's
in there.
helpful.
It's going
Okay.
to be fast for like 5 laps, but like lap 75, it's not going to be fun. I'm going to be on the radio and everyone's going to know exactly what I thought of that spring change that they all chose.
Okay.
Then it was not good.
Okay, so
Is
we'll
that
start
because
with
you're getting bounced around and you're uncomfortable?
Well, because it's so stiff, it just becomes rigid. Then once you as soon as the tires get hot, then you just lose grip and you spend more time going sideways,
Gotcha.
which typically isn't fast.
Okay,
Can
now
be,
what
not
about
Phoenix.
the left rear spring choice is from 100 to 350-pound increments. What do you think of the left rear spring?
I think somewhere in the middle. I think in
Okay.
that 200 range is probably a nice safe zone to be in.
Got it. This is kind of like ordering from a sushi menu. It's like I don't know. Okay. Also, Jeff, the show poll name is up. Let's see what JJ would vote for in the show poll.
I
for
don't
the
have it
show
in
name.
front of me. Let me grab that one. You can ask the next one.
Okay, how about this one? Front sway bar, 320, 430, 550, 640. There's a lot of here. Wedge, 640, 760, 840, 910, or 1060.
Jesus.
Yeah.
1060. You got to go all the way on that one.
Yeah.
I don't see a reason not to. I don't.
I feel like 3 options would have been way more applicable than
Okay.
everything that was
We
in
agree.
the garage. I feel like everything in the shop he gave you an option of. Like
Yeah.
I looked over and opened up a door and there was like, whoa, look at all these springs. Just pick
Here-
one.
Pick one.
Let's just go for it.
It's
Let's
your
just go for
classic
it.
spring. It's your classic spring. Okay.
Well, speaking of options, these are the options that folks who are watching live right now have for what our show should be called next week. Fans get to determine it. As they suggested these options: ASM car,
Strong.
Okay.
fan-controlled neophyte,
Okay.
Jerry gets it,
Jerry gets it.
plans with wheels, and the 4th rule of plumbing.
I think we go 4th rule of
Fourth
plumbing.
rule.
I got to
Plumbing,
tell you,
yeah,
4th rule of
hands down.
plumbing is currently running away with it with
Good.
67%
Good.
of the vote.
That's the right answer.
Yep.
So
And
you got a little more time to get your votes in right now, folks, if you're watching live.
JJ, are you a big plunger guy? I don't know. Okay.
JJ, what do you want fans to know? Right, like we're coming up on the race. It's going to be here before you know it. What do you want them? What do you want them to be thinking about strategically? What do you want them to know going into the race? Like, obviously, you know the track well. You know, I would love your last kind of words of wisdom for fans as they get ready to make some calls.
Well, I'm actually surprised that we haven't like chosen like a car to run into or push around the racetrack or possibly
Oh,
wreck.
shit.
Like
Really-
I was for sure the fans would be like, we totally want to wreck the 26 car. Like, let's just pick a car, and at some point, if the time is perfect and the chance arises, just wreck them.
Just wreck it.
Or
Just
a
crush
lot,
it.
a little or a lot. Just you'll just leave that up to me. But one way or the other, you know.
Or rub.
He's not
Well,
finishing the race.
You think that might be a rules
because-
issue? I don't know.
No. Just as long as we don't specifically call it out over the radio, stuff happens. I mean, we've all watched Days of Thunder.
Yeah.
Several times.
That truly happens. Like that's a real thing.
We'll call that the banana vote. When you hear banana vote is 26, you know what we're talking about.
Is it like Omaha? Is it like Omaha?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
Peyton Manning?
Omaha.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly. Yes. Oh,
So
man.
I go back to Phoenix. Phoenix is one of those racetracks that, like a restart or initial start, will literally be 7 wide going into turn 1. There'll be cars on the apron. There's guys against the wall. It is the most hectic racetrack to have a restart on. Not sure why. There's no rules. The apron, there's nothing out of play. There's no out of bounds. You just go until you hit the inside wall or the outside wall. Okay. So very important for survival. But once you get going at Phoenix, it's a tough place to pass. Typically, the guys who have forward grip, which goes back to that spring, are good. Sometimes they'll spray like a sticky resin around the outside of the racetrack. If that comes in, the entire game has changed. You're running against the fence. You use a lot more gas, a lot less brake. Tracks faster lap time. So that part is the unknown because you just never know when that second groove is going to come in.
My goodness.
So
See,
again,
this is
that
all the stuff we need to know.
That goes into picking the inside or outside line because we're just not sure whenever it comes time to get to that restart box.
JJ, you told me a story. We were talking to Jerry Jordan about it. If you could leave the fans with this story. Apparently you went live on Periscope during a caution back in the day on your phone. Could you tell that story real quick?
So I've done it twice. The first time was okay. I did it at Indianapolis Motor Speedway during a Goodyear test. And I thought it was super easy. Just hold it up above the steering wheel, just like you're driving down the freeway. And actually, you're probably not supposed to do that. So let's just say we're holding the phone up. And, I'm making laps around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in a cup car. And I mean, it was the coolest thing ever. So I had my phone going out to qualify during an actual cup race in Daytona or in Talladega, going through the pits, showing everything, going down pit road, showing everything. I turned my phone off and I put it in the door pad. I go qualify. Qualifying's over. Get out of the car. About 20 minutes later, NASCAR official comes up, says, "Need to see you in the trailer." That's never a good sign. That's like you're going to jail. Like it's bad. So go to the trailer. The team owner also has been summoned to the NASCAR trailer. And when I get there, someone from NASCAR had seen the Periscope, and we're not supposed to have our phones in the car. And me just not really thinking about it. I was like, oh, well, I didn't film anything on the racetrack. Didn't matter. Phone was in the car. You filmed something. You do that again. I think it was a $250,000 fine and like 100 points. And it was like, I promise you, I will never, ever, ever, ever. Yeah. I'm not even bringing my phone. I just threw my phone away. I'm just, if you need.
Yeah. I don't even know the phone.
Page me. I'm not gonna have a phone ever again. So yeah, that was about the most scared I think I've ever been in my life. Was waiting for that because you're like, now you don't have to pay the fine, but you are definitely going to become a plumber at that point because you're not.
Yeah. It's incredible.
JJ, this has been so much fun talking to you. I think we're going to have so much fun watching you on Saturday. It's going to be a week from Saturday, I guess it is. And couldn't be more excited to have you in our inaugural car. I just can't believe we got lucky enough to have an awesome driver like you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's going to be awesome. And depending on how it works out, the straightaways are long. I'm only going through the corners for like half a lap. We can get on. We can talk some stuff through while we're going on straightaway. I mean, it's really not that tough. So.
It's happening.
Yeah,
it's happening.
Now,
what a legend.
Listen over the engine might be a little bit tough, but we'll have some conversations. We'll have some fun. We'll talk about some things, and then we're gonna have to work on the code word if it's gonna be Omaha or Yellow Jacket, but we'll work on that other thing.
I love it.
Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world's fastest plumber, JJ Yaley.
JJ,
thanks for being with us.
What a legend! That's so
awesome.
How awesome is JJ?
He's the best. He's the best.
Awesome.
Yes.
Looks like the fourth rule of plumbing, it won the poll. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for voting. Thank you for being with us. Get excited, man. Fan-controlled sports and entertainment is in NASCAR. It happened. It's happening.
We did.
Get in there. We got wild votes that none of us understand, but get in there. It's fcse.xyz. Download the app. Go vote on spring
I hate to tell JJ this, but he's going to get way more texts from me as I have to line up all of these votes for fans, because him telling me, yeah, you're going to want like 900 to 1100 on the spring. I'd have just been like, I don't know, throw 1450 at him. I don't know.
I was going to.
I got nothing here, Jeff. I got nothing. So yeah, we're gonna need to know his preferences, and then fans can vote on that, which is really cool because we've got like 7 days or 8 days worth of voting to go through all this. And next week on the show, we're going to have a couple of the personalities that are going to be joining us on the live stream on Saturday on November 4th, right here on Fan Controlled Sports and Entertainment. Looking forward to it. A lot of cool NASCAR personalities. I'm telling you, next Saturday right here on the channel is going to be a ton of fun. It'll be the most fun you've ever had outside of a NASCAR race. I promise you.
There you go.
Correct.
So stay right here, tuned in. Thanks for being with us, folks. We'll see you next week. Until then, power to the fan.
I don't have a shirt that says power to the fan, so I can't even.
Ladies and gentlemen, control your engines. Fan-controlled sports and entertainment is heading to the NASCAR Xfinity Championship race in Phoenix, Arizona. Fans choose the driver, the car design, and 4 lucky fans get their face on the car. Download the Fan-Controlled Control app and start voting now. This is Fan-Controlled Racing. Did you enjoy that video from Fan Controlled Sports and Entertainment? Of course you did. What was it? I have no idea. This is a stock end card on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, watch all of our other videos, comment, like, subscribe, but make sure you don't smash the like